Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to see about fine tube heat exchanger. First, what is meant by a fine tube heat exchanger? It is a types of heat exchanger used in various industries to efficient transfer of heat between tube fluids. It is designed for application like gas or air as a medium need to be heated or cooled by exchanging with another fluid. So it used a medium like gas or air for exchanging heat with another fluid, typically like liquid. It is used in oil and gas industries, power generation, and chemical and petrochemical process industries, etc. So let us see the working of a fine tube heat exchanger. A fine tube heat exchanger enhancing heat transfer efficiency by incorporating fins on the external surface of the tube. These fins increases the surface area for a heat exchange and promote a better convective heat transfer. So fins is nothing but a metal plate or a fine metal plate which connected perpendicular to each other and connected to the tube. So this fines increases the surface area. So if its surface area been high, so it has a heat exchange will be better. So first, a tube with external fins are used in heat exchanger design. So as I said earlier, tube has been connected to the external fins for heat exchanger design. So fins increases the surface area exposed to the fluid, promoting a better heat transfer through a convection. So due to the fins increases the surface area, which will promote heat transfer fluid through a convection. So convection is nothing but the process which transfer heat from a solid surface to a non-solid surface, such as air or water. So next, typically this heat exchanger involves the flow of air over the fine tube to carry away or absorb a heat. So they use the medium of air for heat transfer to absorb the heat. So let us see the in-depth of working with the pictures of fine tube heat exchanger. First, it is a picture of a fine tube heat exchanger. We have an inlet and we have outlet in the same direction, where inlet in bottom and outlet in at the top. And the next picture, we can see a tube has been flowing through a hairpin like a structure. So actually we can see the flow, how it's flowing through the fine tube. At the next picture, we can see how hot water has been used as an inlet with conducting of cold water, where the cold air which contact with the fins. So a cold air inlet and it turns into a warm air outlet due to the heat transfer, and we got a outlet as a cold water outlet. If you see the next picture, we can see how a surface area has been heat is transferred in the connection of a tube and a fins. So it increases the surface area, and if its surface area has been high, so it has a high chance of heat transfer between both. So next picture, we can understand clearly how thermal energy has been transferred. So when hot water entrance to the tube, and where a cold air will be contacting each other, both the air and water will not mix each other. They will be kept as a separate. So both that energy has been transferred, like hot water into a cold water and the cold air into a warm air outlet. So in this picture, we can clearly understand how water and air are kept separate and they never mix each other. Only the energy has been transferred. When we come to our next picture, it is an actual working picture of a fine tube heat exchanger. So as we seen in the earlier picture on the earlier slide, we mentioned that a fine increases the tube surface area, allowing a more interaction with the air stream. So which will increases heat transfer or heat exchange. So when a hot water inlet which flows in a tube, The tube will be connected in a fins which increases the surface area at the same time where cold air will be contacting with the fins which will transfer heat. When heat flow into a fins which goes down and cold air will contact with the fins and will changes into a warm air out, and finally we get output as a cold water outlet at the top of a fin tube heat exchanger. So this is how a fin tube heat exchanger will work. As we seen in an earlier heat exchanger, they never mix two fluid with for a transfer of a thermal energy. So as the same policy has been imposed in a fin tube heat exchanger as well. Let us look at the application of fine tube heat exchanger. So, commonly used in a air conditioning system and refrigeration units to cool or condense the refrigerant. And it is utilized in various heating application, including space heating and industrial process. And it is found in a vehicle radiator for efficient cooling of engine coolant. So basically, it is used for a vehicle radiator for efficient cooling for engine. So next, it is used in chemical industry for heating or cooling process fluids. Let us look at the advantages of a fine tube heat exchanger. Fines increases the external surface area, which improves heat transfer efficiency. So the uses of fins will be increases the surface area that even improves heat transfer efficiency. Despite the increased surface area, finned tube heat exchanger can maintain a compact design. So though it increases surface area of fin tube heat exchanger, but due to the maintenance a compact design as well. So it can fit in a space constraint. And next, it can be designed for various application with different fin configurations. So it can install in a various application with a different fin configuration as well. And it effectively in application where a heat exchange occurs between a fluid and air. For example, air to gas or air to a liquid heat exchange. So it's only effective in fluid to air heat exchange. And it allows precise control over temperature gradients. So it controls temperature flow and temperature difference. So next, it's generally more cost effective compared to other advanced heat exchanger design. Let us look at the disadvantages of fine tube heat exchanger. The fins can be susceptible to fouling or reducing efficiency over time and requiring regular maintenance. So the fins has a high chance of fouling and which will reduce the efficiency of heat transfer. So to prevent that, regular maintenance is required to improve the process or a heat exchange. External surface, especially fins, may be prone to corrosiveness, requiring a proper material selections. So as we seen in every heat exchanger, the selection of material in a manufacturing is very important. The way how a fluid is reacting with the heat exchanger, how the performance of heat exchanger will be a concern in a manufacturing unit, and the selection of material. The manufacturing process, including the attachment of fins, can be a more complex than some other heat exchanger types. So it's very complex in the manufacturing of a fin tube heat exchanger because of the attachment of fins and a tube will be a more complex than some other types of heat exchanger. And the final one, it may not be as effective in application with a very low heat transfer coefficient or in stimulations where a fouling is a significant concern. So it's not suitable in a very low heat transfer coefficient where fouling is a significant concern which will affect the performance of a heat exchange and affect the process. And the final summary of a fine tube heat exchanger offers enhanced heat transfer efficiency, make them suitable for a wide range of application in air conditioning, and refrigeration, heating, and industrial process. However, concentrations such as fouling potential and material compatibility should be addressed in the design and maintenance. To ensure the optimal performance over time, the choice of heat exchanger type should be aligned with the specific application requirement and operational conditions. And that's all about a fine tube heat exchanger. We'll see you in the another video. Thanks for watching this.